2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. The Celtics make a quick stop here in front of their Boston fans just one game before heading back out. This their first look at this year's New York squad. Last season, they had the upper hand in the series, going 3-1 against these guys.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. They're the better team. I mean, they expect to win this matchup. We'll see if they can take care of business tonight.
So a look at our starters for the Knicks. They've got Aflalo, Anthony out there with Porzingis. Then there's Robin Lopez, and it's Jones in at the 1 spot. Now, here's Thomas. Turned in an outstanding game against Brooklyn.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And, of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
First quarter of play, 1 minute played. There's a good screen. Sullinger the screen. And Thomas, here we go. Again, Thomas missing.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And he lays it straight in.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going.
And now that the seal is broken, maybe their shooting will start to improve.
Yeah, I don't think they really wanted to have as cold a start as they did, but maybe that'll break the ice and they'll move forward in fine fashion from here.
So it's the Knicks now, following the bucket by the Celtics. Jones drives in, somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. Jones has got his 3rd bucket of the night.
4 straight makes out of the gate. That's a sweet start.
Let's send it out to DB, who caught up with head coach Brad Stevens. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, the crucial aspect for them in his mind is going to be making things tough inside for their opponent. He said they're physical, they like to mix it up. If we don't respond in kind, they'll push us around and we'll get bullied all game. Back to you.
All right, Doris. The Knicks have gone 4 of 4 to start, so a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Outside Anthony. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming his way. Boston took a lot of steps forward last season with their coach, Brad Stevens. Still, though, their defense was near the middle of the road. That will need some tweaking.
Yeah, and you could say that seemed to be the limiting factor, Kevin, in how far they eventually went. Strange, given how several years ago they were an offensive juggernaut.
And the basket by Jones.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Sullinger, no good.
Yeah, you know, for the Celtics and their defense, a lot of it had to do with rim protection and challenging shots. They were actually last in the league in blocks.
Now, here's Bradley. He's coming off a 19-point game against Brooklyn.
Yeah, and the Celtics averaged under 4 blocks a game last season, but blocks aren't the whole story. They let opponents get too many easy looks inside the paint. That's the real factor in why their defense was subpar.
He hits the second from the line.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury. And it really starting to look like they're going to have one of those days where nothing goes wrong.
Well, Greg, they certainly haven't done anything wrong so far, stretching the lead into double digits already.
Sullinger did continue to improve last year, Clark, but you can't ignore that he had to miss time once again.
Yeah, and you hope that he'll be able to stay healthy for a full year at some point. When he's on the floor, he's a hard matchup for just about every team in the league.
And the Celtics making a change here. Turner's checked in. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, Bradley drives in. Shot's good.
Uh-oh, a little showboating at the end of that one.
The Knicks leading by 8. And here's Jones, coming off a solid outing against Charlotte. To the wing on the left. Here's Porzingis. The Knicks rebound. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions.
Now here's Thomas, looking for his first basket still in this one. Here's Sullinger. Misses the 3. Now the Knicks with it. They're on a 17-7 run. It's Anthony with the drive, and the layup's good off the glass. Anthony's got 7.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
And Jones pulls it down.
That would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Yeah, look at the coach's face and the expression. It says all over it. Are you kidding me?
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Jones against Thomas. Outside Bradley. Sullinger a screen on a Flalo. Clock at 6. Bradley, no one around him. Can't nail the jumper.
He's got to be disappointed with himself on that one. He has got to knock those down.
Anthony kicks to a Flalo. Bradley with some nice D. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
Sullinger the screen. And Thomas, here we go. Out to Turner, wide open. That's good.
Oh, man, how about the last-minute decision there to pull the shot down and get a better one for your teammate?
Outside, Jones from past the arc. Drilled it right as the clock hit all zeros.
Wow, what a clutch shot. He's got nerves of steel.
Woo! Gotta have big-time nerves to hit a shot like that at the buzzer.
And Amir Johnson re-signed in Toronto. He's been a big part of this team for years, and he's
almost like a soccer atmosphere. I don't know if you've been to
a lot of fans. South of the border in the U.S. are surprised when they learn how passionate, Clark, the fans in Toronto can be.
You know, Kevin, that's so true. I mean, when they get it going at the Air Canada Center, that place rocks. And it's great to hear Amir talk about how that pumps him up and makes him want to do it for Canada.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for the Knicks.
We've seen a lot of their points coming off penetration in the first half.
You know, we've seen them bearing their fair share of mid-range jumpers tonight, too. I mean, that's a good start for them.
Evan Turner is out there with Olynyk. Then it's Zeller. Then it's Thomas. And it's Smart in at the 2-guard spot. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. Thomas against Jones. The dish now to Olynyk. Takes the 3. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Olynyk's got himself on the board with 3 there.
The offense has a better flow, and it actually looks better here in the second quarter.
It does. They're playing with a little bit more bounce in their step and trying to close this gap.
Jones drives in. Williams with a clean look. And again, New York with the triple.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
And you guys, he was once considered a tweener, but now I think Derrick Williams has kind of settled in to that 4 position. It seems to be the best position fit for him at this stage of his career.
On defense, the Knicks. Here's Thomas. Williams with the block. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Williams. And here in the second with about a minute and a half gone by. Passes it to Zeller. Just 5 to shoot. Smart kicks to Olynyk. Dents the rim with a 2-handed slam. Wow.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful 2-hand jam. You're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
Thomas against Jones. And he gets it to go. Jones has got 4 this quarter.
Their interior defense has been dismal.
Yeah, they're losing the battle in the paint.
Zeller setting the pick for Thomas. That one's in there. The Knicks lead has get back down to 13 with the basket coming from Tyler Zeller.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
Jones against Turner. Jones drives in and stolen by Zeller. And now the fast break. Thomas with the ball. The 11-footer misses off the right iron. New York leading by 13.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on. As the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
Dishes to Olynyk. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
No way to mess that one up, Kevin. I mean, he powered it down with both hands.
Not this guy. He is a superb finisher.
And when he gets near the hoop, guys, he is a tour de force.
Boston ball.
For the Knicks, losing a lot of nationally televised games, too. It seemed like every time they were around, they were losing. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
Well, I hope they look at it in a positive vein. It did give them a chance to focus on player development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
Celtics making a switch here. Johnson's checked in.
Shooting much better here in the second quarter.
Yes, very, very impressed with how much more alive they look here to get back in it.
Jones against Thomas. Unloads. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. And that's now 21 points for the Great One. Now here's Smart. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. There's the triple. It'll go, and the New York lead is cut down now to just 10 on the basket from Thomas.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know, he doesn't miss too many open looks like that. They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Jay Crowder's jacked in for Turner, and Bradley's subbed in for Smart. And